If you missed it live, then you're in luck. You're listening to the Hey Techies Rewind.
And hey, we've got another caller here. I don't know if you've ever heard some of our promos, but this particular caller here is part of the reason for at least one of them. I had a funny, weird thing. I don't know if I had Andrew on my mind or what, but Andrew Wear. We were trying to talk about Android Wear, but man, Andrew is a close friend of ours. He's a coworker here at the university and a great guy to know, and I really appreciate him calling in. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good, doing great.
Well, great.
And I haven't had a chance to tell you, Michael, but I watched the video of the best robotics things that you guys did. Man, y'all did a great job. Guru did a great job doing the video, and I was impressed. So.
Well, I really appreciate that.
And also the guy earlier, the Strider.
Yeah,
Strader?
it's Striver. Yeah, it's actually a weird name. It's like STRIVR, so it's like Striver Labs. Yeah.
That was cool. That was really interesting to hear about and learn about.
Yeah, Trent Edwards. Yeah, he was a neat guest, and we've had some pretty neat stuff. I enjoy talking to these people from California. It's fun because obviously we're 2 hours ahead, so we try to get them to call around 7:15 or so. And man, they're still going. It's still the work day. We're trying to wind things down around here, at least with my crew at home. So, man, you go over. Where'd y'all go? Birmingham or Atlanta?
Went to Atlanta.
Went to Atlanta today, and they went to a Microsoft event. And Andrew was going to call me. I'd asked him earlier, and he didn't know. He's still in school, so he's doing some homework, and he's got a new house, and he's got some other great things that are lining up, and he's a busy man, as we all are. And so, how did it go today?
Man, it was cool. I was really impressed with the event itself. It was in the Weston Peachtree, so it's a really nice.
Hey, yeah, I've been
to go to. So.
I've been there. Went there for my honeymoon for a couple of nights. Yeah,
I mean, it looked, obviously the screens weren't quite as big as the screens at the actual launch of the Surface and the Surface Book, but I mean, it was set up a lot like that. I mean, it's probably 150-inch projector screens, and I was impressed that they actually went that far out with it, being in Atlanta. But it was a nice event. We were fed very well. There was 12 different businesses there showing their products. We got to play with the Surface Book, which blew my. You know how I am. I already.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. Is forget all that. Tell me about the Surface Book.
I mean, it is a really, it's a well-made device. I can't imagine anybody, even the Apple diehard fanboy, touching and feeling that device and not saying that's top notch. I mean, it's amazing.
What about the eject? Was that pretty fluid?
Yeah, I mean, it took maybe 3 seconds, and you see, Windows going through its thing, ejecting out the graphics. So the screen sort of flickers a little bit, and you, like I said, maybe 3 seconds, and you see when you press the button, it turns red, and then when it turns green, it's okay to pull it off.
Huh.
So, but yeah, I mean, it was nice and smooth. We played around with it a couple of times, and then we just sort of watched people play with it. It didn't malfunction at all while we were watching it. And there was people that was literally plug it up, let it sit there for a second, unplug it, or undock it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very impressive device.
So
I can't see anybody not thinking so.
So did you get to do something actually on it, or?
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot that you.
Right.
There's people all around you wanting to see it.
Right.
I was able to. We opened up Word, I think, and opened up Edge and used the pen on it. And then they let us undock it and hold it. And it is just incredibly light. The actual, just the screen or the tablet portion.
Sure.
Incredibly light. They unplugged it for me. I requested that they unplugged it for me. And I was able to actually hold the whole device, with the keyboard and everything. And It's impressive for sure.
Now, what about the actual pen? What about the stylus? Did you get to use it?
Yeah, it's the exact same pen that comes with the Surface Pro 4, which I've got one. I don't know if I've told you, but I bought one that also works with the Surface Pro 3. So the new pen works perfectly with the Surface Pro 3. There's no limitations. The eraser part works.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. We just had to call her about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
The eraser.
it's a much improved pen. You got actually 4 additional tips.
Yeah.
You can actually pick. Are you drawing something where you need it to be real precise, or do you need it to be just not quite so precise and maybe feel more like a marker? So it's very much improved over the Surface Pro 3's pen.
Okay. So what are some of the other things that you were sort of,
well,
I don't know about blown away, but
we got to see the new Lumia Phones, the 950
yeah,
and
oh
950
yeah, okay,
XL.
yeah.
I got to hold both of those. Very impressed. Of course, I like and use Windows Phone anyway.
Sure.
But the hardware-wise, the 950 just blew my mind. It just is an amazing device. And then we got to see the Continuum dock. We got to play with it. I got to actually run Word. They let me play in PowerPoint on a 950, connected up to the dock and then to like a 27-inch screen and a mouse and a keyboard. It's basically like working on a regular Windows 10 desktop, but it's the actual phone.
Was it pretty smooth?
Oh, absolutely. It's very smooth. They had already had a PowerPoint going or, started, and we sort of played around with it and just, made a few adjustments to it. And it's really no different than working on my Surface. But again, I'm just doing a PowerPoint and Word. But
sure.
You start playing a video and, something like, or editing a video, you're going to have, I'm sure, a completely different experience. But, for basic work stuff,
right,
doing homework, it would be a perfect device to use, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And your opinion matters.
Well, I'm biased to Windows Phone. So.
Hey, look, there are people that's biased to Apple products. There are people that biased.
At least I admit it, though. The Apple people don't admit it.
Some don't. Some do. Some don't. Some do. Yeah. We like to use the word juicer around here. We don't think we've coined the phrase, but we sure have used it a lot. So Apple juicer, Windows juicer, or Microsoft juicer, if you want to call it that more appropriately. Hey, so what about the security side for business? I mean, I'm not asking you to elaborate too much because I know it was a lot to take in, but what sort of steps is Windows 10 taking? Because we know they've tried to, I don't know what the right word is. I don't want to use cover up, but they've tried to really change the thought process people have had with it.
Absolutely. That was what really the whole event was about. It was actually Ignite Your Business with Windows 10 and Office 2016 with security. And so that was really what the whole thing was about the new security things that are in 10 and how you can improve your business, make it more secure. So, again, I'm not going to, they sort of all run together, but there's just tons of security stuff that's been added, one of which being Device Guard, which is built into Windows 10. You have to actually go in and enable this particular feature, but if your computer has a TPM chip in it, security chip in it,
right,
you could go in and enable that, and basically, in a short nutshell, it goes through and it takes all the apps on your machine and it checks to make sure that they're trusted. And that does require whoever made the app to actually publish and get a certificate from Microsoft in order for that to fully work. You can say, yes, I want to use this app anyway and approve an app that doesn't have a security certificate.
Right.
But Microsoft wants people that make apps to give them a look at their program so that they can give them the certificate and make everybody safer. So they're really pushing that. They were really pushing that people recommend to apps that they're using, especially at business, that whoever's making that app for them, that they get their certificate from Microsoft to make everybody safer. But once that's in there and Device Guard is enabled, if you download anything that hasn't been already approved, it just won't work. It doesn't install. It has no permissions to do anything at all. So it pretty much sort of locks it down, similar to the way the Apple iTunes Store is. So if it's not a signed app, it's just not going to install.
So
no way around it.
So something me and you are going to want to play with. I think you probably know where I'm going with this. Activating your Windows 7 and 8 keys.
Yes.
Do you think that's going to work? I mean,
we're going to find out tomorrow, but that is one of the new features that came out in today's big Windows 10 update. It's me and you, with what we do when new computers come in, we've got images ready to go.
Right.
It makes it a whole lot easier to set up a new computer. So, unfortunately, if the customer wants 10, or if we need the computer to have 10 on it, what we had to do was image it with 8 or 7, and then go through the long. Wasn't terribly long, but it took an extra couple hours to update it to 10.
Yeah.
So from now, we'll be able to take an image with this update today on it already, and then just put it on the new computer, and it'll use that 7 or 8 key that's already there and automatically activate it. So we can skip that extra process. So hopefully that will save people like us that have to use images and things a whole lot of time.
Hey, Andrew.
If it works.
Yeah. Hey, Andrew, hang on. I got to take a quick break, but I want to talk to you some more if you got time.
Sure. No
okay,
problem.
So don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to be talking again when we come back with Andrew, our, I guess you could call him our Microsoft juicer of the show. We'll be right back. Hey, Techies Show. And, of course, I bring back in my guest caller. I'm calling my guest caller tonight, Andrew, our Microsoft juicer. And so now, Andrew, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, great. Didn't lose him. He's on a Windows phone, by the way, folks. So
Still working.
Yeah, still working. All right. So has it got you thinking about maybe buying one of those Lumia?
Well, I already wanted one,
right?
But I really want one now.
So
I don't think it'll happen because the service is just not that great on the only carrier that
that's
approved to carry it. So
that's a problem.
I'm not sure if I can say that name.
No, just don't worry about it. I think people go look it up and figure it out, and we're not going to say it one way or the other. But yeah, that's a problem. But then again, that's been a problem for other things too. So what do you do?
I hope that sort of works itself out in the coming months. So we'll see.
Well, that was one of the things about providers and carriers I was going to delve into if I had time tonight, but I don't really think I do. I've had such a great show with the guests and callers, and then, man, surprising you calling me. I appreciate it a bunch. Hey, what about the start menu? I understand in this one it's supposed to have some improvements. Do you know anything about those, or are you aware?
With the start menu, I know you can do up to 8 rows of tiles or apps that you can do now. That's one of the big things. One of the negative things, which isn't going to bother me, and I actually like some of the suggestions that you get in 10. People are calling it ads, but they're doing suggested apps now in the start menu. So those are apps out of the App Store that, based on the way you've been using the computer, that might interest you. So you'll see those now. So some people may look at that as a downgrade, but that's going to be there. And then the other big thing that they did was that people actually complained about was the tile bar at the top of the apps.
Yeah.
They complained that it was just white and there's nothing you could do about it, even if you change the theme. So now you can sort of customize that color like you have been able to do on all versions of Windows.
Okay. Yeah, right. The title bar, colored title bars. Yeah. Every turn. Yeah. Okay. What about the Find My Device? I understand there's a built-in.
Yes. I haven't tried to use that yet. I actually did the update while I was at the event today,
I saw that.
But I didn't have time to really look into that. But that is one of the big things that I think was really bad needed. Microsoft was sort of depending on third-party people to do and provide that type of service where if you lost your device or if somebody stole it, you could try to get it back. And that's now built into Windows 10. I think what they did is they're using the same technology since, again, the phone, Xbox, your PC, tablets, they all share the same Windows 10 now.
Right.
Or at least the kernel portion.
Correct,
so,
yeah.
I think what they did was they took that part that's been in Windows 10 or Windows Phone really since the beginning, and they just sort of moved it over, and now, okay, if you've got a laptop, you've got a tablet or some type of mobile device, and I would assume it would work even on the PC, it can actually update where its location is if you've got it turned on. So if someone steals your device, you just sort of go out to the website and look and see, okay, here's the last place that you saw your device. Again, you would have to have a Microsoft account, as with most of the newer, cooler features that started with 8 and have sort of worked their way into 10.
Right.
You just got to have a Microsoft account for any of that stuff to work. So
yeah.
Just a big tip to everybody out there, set up a Microsoft account when you set up an 8 or 10 device.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that's a big feature, no question about that. And we've talked on the show, and of course, we've probably beat Microsoft up a little bit on the show, but everybody needs I don't want to say dejectors, but I guess we've been that way sometime. Not that they're hearing us out in California, but one gentleman heard us out in California tonight. So, and I would be remiss. I mentioned this. We had a caller, Micah, who's been listening, and he's actually listening in Portland, Maine, if he's in tonight. And
wow.
Yeah, and then we had a guy listening in Tennessee last week was a good show. That rabbi was pretty interesting. So anyway, but a couple more things here, my friend. What about Cortana? It looks like to me maybe there's some new things with Cortana.
There are, but to be honest with
if you don't know, that's fine. I
do know one thing, and I've actually already been using this, so it doesn't seem like a new feature to me. I'm on the Windows Insider, so
right.
I've been getting these newer builds already on my computer at work. But
right.
If you have a Windows phone,
yeah,
if you get text messages to your phone or missed calls or some other types of notifications to your phone, if you're using the same Microsoft account on your desktop or your tablet or whatever computer running Windows 10, you can see those missed calls. You can see those text messages through Cortana. It's using Cortana as the back end to sort of transfer that information back and forth. But you could actually see it on your PC, and then from your desktop, which I've been playing around with it. If you were to send me a text right now, I could reply to you from my Surface.
Yeah.
And it basically is just going to send it up to the cloud to my account, and then bounce it back down to my phone, and then Cortana will send the message from my phone. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have to pick up my phone when I'm at my desk anymore. I just sort of look down and hit the notification button, and I can see, if I've gotten any messages or if I've missed a call.
Well, it's good that they're bringing that to that device, because and I know Google's been doing the similar thing, if not exact same thing, for a while.
Right.
They've had these type features.
Yeah.
And Mac's been doing, but Mac. Actually, I think Google was doing it way before Mac, if I got that right. But if you're all interested in any of these devices, and listeners, if you're listening, I use all of them. I'm sort of a guy. Well, I don't use Chromebook. I admit I don't have that, but I do use Google products. As a matter of fact, I'm using Chrome browser tonight, only because it seems to work seamlessly for what I want it to use it for. But here again, we talk all the time. It's a tool, but if you're entertaining yourself, it's not. There is some level of just entertaining yourself, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. And if it works for you, if it's very immersive, if it's a product that actually performs the way you want it to perform, then you just ought to like it and don't worry about what anybody else thinks about it.
Yeah, I agree.
I know there's a big deal of security. We talk about it here all the time. I agree with it. It is a problem. The thing that the note here, in my opinion, is that I don't care what you use. Whatever you use, if you don't develop it yourself from scratch, there's no guarantee that you're not giving out information. I mean, you can read through every EULA you want to. I know Bruce would disagree with me a time or two, and actually I think he would agree part of this. If you, for instance, you and I have talked about this many times. This would be a good segue. People don't understand. They send out an email, unless it's encrypted, it's open. Somebody grabs that email, and you're leaving traces on every server that and switch that you traverse. And trust me, it is a bunch. You might not be leaving information out of that message, but you're leaving metadata on these, and people can trace back. Well, like a friend of mine was talking about the Hillary Clinton thing. They had figured out all the ways her messages were traversing, and actually they can derive from that, even some of the emails that she deleted, who she was conversing with. And it's the same thing with you and me. I mean, it's no different. So, but I think these products are cool. So what was like the coolest thing? I mean, I know the food was good.
The coolest thing for sure was the Surface Book to me.
Yeah. Now, did they have the 4 there, the Pro?
They did have the Surface Pro 4, but to me, the book sort of steals the show. And it may be because I've had a Pro 3 now for a year. So the Pro 4 is really just more of a performance thing than anything, processor-wise, over the Pro 3. So it's a very, very nice device for sure.
Right.
So is the Pro 3. I've really enjoyed mine.
Okay.
And I've pushed them pretty hard at JSU.
I know, yeah.
Everybody there probably knows I have to. So
yeah, well, at least you're consistent. There's nothing wrong. That's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Well, I like passion. I'm a passionate guy about what I like, so I don't blame you there. But anyway, well, look, Andrew's a great guy, and I'm not just saying this, but I've got to work with him and know him, and I really appreciate you calling me, and I hope this won't be the last time, because we need this kind of opinion on the show from time to time.
Well, as soon as this semester's over,
I know. Yeah,
and I'm sure that likes Thursday night.
Right, I'm going to let you go because I know we talked about a book, and now you got to go hit the books.
Yeah.
So, well, all right.
Well, I had a good time. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, I really appreciate it. Yeah, anytime, my friend. You know that. All right. You have a good evening.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye.
The Hey Techies Show is produced by Mike Stedham and co-produced by The Guru. Station manager is Billy Dunn. Join us again next time for another exciting installment of the Hey Techies Show. It's going to be great, maybe.